How's it going, everyone? This is Mitchell Mander here, and welcome to another review of the Black Clover anime. We're going to be covering episode 165 in today's review, and it involves Noelle vs Vanica of the Dark Triad. So how was this episode? Well, before we get into that, if you're new to the channel and you like this type of content, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Anyways, let's get on to the review, shall we? So there's a small segment at the beginning of this episode in the Spade Kingdom, presumably at the Dark Triad's castle, which some of the mages there are looking for a spy from the Clover Kingdom. And one of them happens to find the spy in Lord Dante's room. He goes to take out the spy, but the spy disappears under the floor and then appears behind the mage and drags them under the floor and then emerges. And it turns out that the spy is a black bull, apparently. More on this character at a later date. But we move on to the main event of this episode. Noelle, Mimosa, and the Heart Queen versus Vanica and her Dark Disciples. And as it turns out, as long as Vanica is still alive, unless she's defeated, the Dark Disciples will just keep resurrecting. No matter how many times you kill them, they'll just keep coming back to life. And as a result, the Dark Disciples that Gaja, Luck, Charmy, and Leo took out came back to life, and they're facing off against them once again. They were already struggling against the Dark Disciples, so yeah, they're in a bit of trouble since they just continuously come back to life. This also happens to include the Dark Disciple that's with Vanica that Mimosa blasted. He comes back to life, and he is a complete simp for Vanica. In fact, she starts stomping on him, and he pretty much enjoys it. So this guy is a confirmed Vanica simp. But anyways, he actually faces off against Mimosa again, and uses his tongue magic to basically trap her. She has her plant magic to basically hold him at bay. However, both of them can't do anything. So it's up to Noelle and the Heart Queen to defeat Vanica. But before they engage in battle, Vanica actually tells them about their plan a little bit, and tells that the other Dark Triad members are actually gathering the World Tree Magic and the Dark Magic Mage. And the Heart Queen realizes what they're doing, having done research in the past about the Tree of Qliphoth and what would happen if the keys of the underworld were opened up. That means the continent would be flooded with devils, and more than 90% of the population would be completely eradicated. So if the Dark Triad have their way, this is going to be the result. So they have to defeat Vanica right here, right now. So since the Heart Queen has faced off against Vanica before, she's developed a strategy to deal with her blood magic, which basically creates a giant water dome, which decreases Vanica's blood magic, but it increases Noelle's water magic. And it turns out that Noelle has a new form here, and well, as you can tell by the thumbnail, yeah, very fan-servicey new form, which she turns into Mermaid, and she actually has less clothing here, as it shows in the anime, which I believe is an anime original scene. I don't believe the manga showed this off, but it shows her training, basically for this strategy, and she realizes that she has to have less armor to pull this off, so that her movements are freed up a bit. So as a result, Noelle is a bit not only stronger, but she's also faster as well. And manages to get a direct shot in at Vanica and stabs her through the chest. Unfortunately, a simple attack wasn't enough to defeat Vanica of the Dark Triad, so she increases her devil powers to 50% and begins to basically hit Noelle with a barrage of magic attacks, which get stronger as she increases the percentage. And Noelle struggles for quite a bit, until Vanica eventually goes to her devil's maximum power that she can output, which is 70%. And that's when the Heart Queen strategy comes into play. And the strategy is to have Sekre use her sealing magic in order to seal Vanica's devil powers and allow them to defeat her. And that's pretty much where the episode comes to an end. Now, overall, I thought this episode was a bit underwhelming. It's not the worst episode, but it's definitely not my favorite episode of this arc so far. And, well, first of all, let me focus on the things I liked. Obviously, I liked Noelle in her new form, and I liked that the anime basically explained it by showing her training for it, because the manga did not show this off. It's just like, oh, here we go, new form, boom. Nice, Noelle, you earned this new form out of nowhere. However, the anime shows it off, which was pretty nice, even though it was a short scene. So that was pretty cool. I also like some of the flashback scenes with Noelle, Mimosa, and the Heart Queen, basically her crying to them, not wanting to die. I thought these were really nice scenes, and it shows how they were basically coming up with a strategy to deal with Vanica. And it showed off in this episode, and I thought they did a pretty good job here in that regard. Now, for the things I didn't care for so much in this episode, I gotta say the recap at the beginning of this episode was really unnecessary. I know they do that pretty much every episode, but I felt like they spent way too much time on it in this episode, and it really showed here, as it caused some of the pacing in the episode to be off as a result. We also had the Pieta Clover segment at the end of the episode, which I also felt was really weird and unnecessary, because that segment was kind of making light of the whole segment of the episode where the Heart Queen is reading off the book of the cliff off and seeing like, oh crap, if the Dark Triad get their way, 90% of the population is going to die. And this segment was kind of making a bit light of the situation, but I felt like that too also took away from some of the screen time in the episode. So those are probably my major complaints with this episode. So that's all I got for this Black Clover episode review. So overall, a pretty good episode, but some pacing problems here and there. I'm going to give this episode a solid 7 out of 10. So guys, in the comment section down below, what did you think of this episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Post your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I'll see you all later. You have a great day or night wherever you're at, and peace.